right, chat. Hello. I know some of you were very concerned, but we are here. The animation was frozen today. Dare we say frozen today? It was. I don't know how to fix it sometimes when that
It
happens.
just
So
does that
it
every
just
once in
does
a
that
while.
every once
Yeah,
in
I
a
don't know
while.
why.
It's just life. I never know how to fix it. I try, and it's like, no, never mind. I'm like, all right, fine, sure. It's fine. So yes, we are here. Everything's live. Everything is fine. Even my shirt says
I was
it's fine.
frozen
I'm fine.
today.
Everything is fine. Okay.
Do it live!
We're doing it live. Everything's fine. But yes, hello everyone. Welcome to Chatting with Doug, where we are going to answer some of these questions that you have all been wondering and wanted to know Doug's opinion on. So I see that we already have a long list of questions and comments coming through. So we are going to start with the rules so that we can start answering some of these questions, all right? So first and foremost, we give priority here to the bit messages and the super chat, since that is some real world money spent. Towards the end of streams, sometimes we do have time to look at regular chats or highlighted chats on Twitch. We are dual streaming on both Twitch and YouTube right now, so we will have a mix of bit messages and super chats. Please do not repeat yourself over and over again in chat. You can get timed out or even banned if you're going to continuously do that. Please be warned on the YouTube side, because I know this isn't always the way things work on YouTube. If you give a super chat and it kind of times out from that top layer there, don't worry. I still have a list of the super chat questions. We will get to them. You don't have to ask them again. It's totally fine. So don't feel like you have to give more super chats to have your question seen. We'll get to it. It's very, very rare that we actually miss a question. Just have some patience. Sometimes we can get up to like an hour behind. So just have some patience. We'll get to it. Cool. Watch the length of your questions. The longer it is, the faster I have to read it, the more likely it is we're going to lose the point. And then too bad, so sad, we don't have time to go back and figure out what you were trying to communicate to us. So short and to the point is better. That also kind of applies to part messages. If you absolutely have to split up your message into multiple parts, please keep it to like 2 or 3 parts maximum. Same kind of things happen. We just lose the point, and then we don't have time to repeat it or try to figure out what you're talking about. Along those same lines, because we are getting more and more of these, please keep it to 1 question per super chat or bit message. It just doesn't feel fair if you're like, hi, here's 4 questions. Everyone else has only given 1, so it only feels fair if you also adhere to that as well. So 1 question per super chat or bit message. If you do more than 1, I reserve the right to only choose 1, and too bad, so sad on the others, okay? I feel like I missed a lot. Oh, no spoilers! No spoilers! Not everyone has had a chance to see the latest and greatest. That does still include things like X-Men and Bad Batch. You know, give people just a little bit of time, all right? Just a little bit of time. Okay? Other than that,
I think we're good.
I think
we
we're
got the goodies. Yeah.
yeah. All right.
I think
Great.
we're good.
Amazing. All right, let's do it.
Do it.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 500 bits. Good evening, War of the Dougs. How are you? My only question aside from how are you is, every movie has some sort of cliche one way or another, but what's a movie or movies that took a cliche and did something fresh and new with it?
I'm always impressed when somebody will do the lie revealed story in a way that avoids that mopey third act, or even I'm really impressed when they have the mopey third act, but they actually make it really dramatic and interesting. Like How to Train a Dragon did that. Lilo and Stitch to some extent did that, or even then hiding a pet, or an alien or something like that, so the ET thing. That's one that's done a lot. Always kind of has that mopey third act, but yeah, I'm really impressed when somebody can do that very, very well, because that is just the one that is so dull to me. And like I said, because I hate waiting through that third act, and every movie that does it acts like they're the first ones to do it, and we're gonna let this drama really sit with you. Just take it all in kind of thing. And I can't stand that. So when they manage to put like a new spin on it or really get you sucked into the actual drama of the moment, that's really impressive when they can pull that off.
Alex loves musicals. Thank you for the 500 bits. An article was published on Broadway.com today. In the UK, they're doing a Coraline stage musical in spring of 2025. I wish I could see that. I wonder how they're going to pull off that story in front of a live audience. It's so exciting.
I okay, let me put it this way. When I was looking up info when I was reviewing Coraline, I saw a few stage shows in there. So maybe it hasn't hit the UK. I don't know, but I saw it seemed like there was a fair amount done. Maybe it was just previews, or maybe there's a new version. I'm not sure, but yeah, it seems well because there were also songs originally written for it. There's one or two in there, but they did a lot more. So I think it would be cool to get a lot of them in there, especially after something like Matilda, which I feel like was a big hit. And this is kind of in that same vein. Yeah, I think it feels really ripe for that. I don't know the backstory of it though. If it has been done before, maybe not on as big a scale. I don't know.
Tyler, thank you for becoming a member for 2 months over on
Thank you.
YouTube. Appreciate that. Alex loves musicals. Thank you for the 500 bits. My favorite commercial special you did was the nostalgic commercial, Christmas commercials. Would you ever consider doing a commercial special for nostalgic Halloween commercials?
I've thought about it. And there's only one or two that I'm just like, ooh, I really like these. And honestly, there's not a ton to talk about. Usually is just the nostalgia of it. You know what I mean? Somebody had a really good idea, I think, might have even been last stream. The top 11 band commercials. That sounds like a fun idea. So I probably won't do it this year because I already did a variation with the Cosby one, but maybe next year. I like the idea of trying to do more variations of the commercial idea. So yeah, I might do that next year.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of Ben Stiller's performance in Dodgeball? Personally, I thought he was hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I finally saw that movie. I did think it was funny, as everybody was saying. If you were to tell me, repeat one joke from that movie, I couldn't do it. No, I can, just because of the meme, I can do the Chuck Jones one. Not Chuck Jones, Chuck Norris. So you see, I can't even do that one. Yeah, it was very funny. I had a good time. I don't remember a thing about it outside of that. But yeah, I remember him being fine. I remember him being funny and everything. So yeah, I remember having a good time.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of the trope where it looks like the main character is dead or they do die and then something brings them back to life?
Um, it's usually lame. Again, I'm more forgiving if they don't put too much time on really making us believe the character is dead.
Mm.
Um, with some exceptions. Dark Knight, I thought was a pretty good fake out, and then they were so smart. And then following it up with, no, you thought that character was dead? No, they're fine, they're fine. This is the character that's dead. Like, that was so clever. So there are ways to do it well. The tricky thing is on rewatch. Can you rewatch it again and be like, man, the emotions here, everything still works, even though I know what's going to happen with this character. I think Dark Knight's a perfect example of that, of how well they did that.
At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. Can we get a clue for next week's NC? Pretend to cough if it's Madam Web.
I don't have any right now.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on the film So I Married an Axe Murderer? Fun fact, my dad actually met Mike Myers while he was filming it in San Francisco.
For a second, I thought you were going to say, fun fact, my dad actually married an axe murderer. I never saw it, but I heard it's good. I've seen like bits of it. And somehow I never got around to seeing the whole thing, but I heard it was pretty fun. So yeah, I got to check it out.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. Since Spielberg's film had elements from the book like tripods, red weed, and a crazy basement guy, it makes sense to review it. I'm surprised you didn't mention the grandparents are the leads from the 53 film.
Yeah, it's funny because some people, for some reason, people really remember when I was going to do the old versus new of War of the Worlds. I just watched them both. I was like, yeah, I'm not getting into either of these, surprisingly. So I sort of just, I don't know, I guess I just wasn't feeling it. And then at some point when time passed and everything, I'm like, I'm kind of curious to look back on that, because I remember a few things from it. So yeah, it was fun to talk about again, but I didn't do a ton of like old versus new because I was just more interested in talking about the film on its own.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. This is part 1 of 2. You said every time you hear Jingle Bell Rock, you always think of Pool Ready Kevin from Home Alone 2. Any other song slash movie clip scenarios like that?
Um, was it no, actually I think I brought it up in the review too in the first Home Alone, the deck the halls with boughs of the rocking around the Christmas tree. I always think of Michael Jordan, going by on the train, the little cutout of him. Especially because I mean I know like every kid had that cutout, or I forget it was a cutout or a poster. It was one of those. Pretty sure it was a cutout. And yeah, just when I saw that in the movie and I heard that song, because I think that was my introduction to that song, I always thought of that.
JL, thank you for the $5 super chat. The Good Doctor is over. Do you think you could do a review for Disney-cember ABC dramas?
Oh, that's way too many. Also, I would have to sit through The Good Doctor. The little I saw, I feel bad because it kind of knows what it's doing. It's not the worst show, and knows what it's doing. It's trying to be, like the This Is Us of like medical shows, where it's supposed to be a little sappy, but supposed to be a little real too. And yeah, it just, I don't think it's on purpose, but it does. It is one of those that comes across as a little exploitive from when I watch it. I have talked to other, like just people on the spectrum and stuff, and they kind of give me the same. They say the same thing, like, yeah, it has that same vibe to it. And again, I don't think it's intentional, but it's always an uncomfortable vibe every time I watch that show. It doesn't feel genuine. It feels manipulative. And in a show where it's already very clear that's the idea. I mean, all the people are gorgeous and stuff like that. I mean, it's just, how can you not feel that? So, yeah, I'm not particularly interested in checking it out. Like, I feel like I saw enough, you know what I mean?
Chase, thank you for the $10 super chat. This is part 2 of 2. Me, I can't hear Someday Love Will Find You without thinking of Jim Carrey's bare ass on a Ducati in Yes Man. And All I Want for Christmas Is You without the Spider-Man slap. YouTube, it's 20-second clip.
Oh, I don't think I know that one. I gotta check that out.
Joe Pat, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you considered doing a Toy Story month 1 March? It would be cool if you did.
I have actually, because there's a 5th one coming out, and that would be, most Marches have 5 Wednesdays. So yeah, I was thinking about it.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Which Jim Carrey performance do you think is funnier? Liar Liar or Dumb and Dumber?
I was frozen today.
Probably Liar Liar. I think the writing in Liar Liar is a little funnier, and I always like Jim Carrey more when he plays kind of the jerk. And a good chunk of that movie, he's supposed to be, if not a jerk, at the very least, very cynical. And I think he plays that when he has to go really over the top. It's great because when he has to go really over the top, then you see that cynicism both punish him, but also get him out of jams at the same time. And I think that makes for just very funny characters.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. Did you know Stephen King's love letter to anthology/EC Comics Creepshow actually got its own comic series and a show on Shudder? They're both pretty great. Good.
I have seen the show. I really, really like it. Actually, I like watching the Christmas episode every Christmas now. You have you seen it, Heather?
No.
I don't want to say a thing about anyone that hasn't seen the Christmas episode of Creepshow, the show. Check it out. It's one of those great ones where you just cannot predict where it's going, and it's really well made and has great effects and it looks great. It's super imaginative. It's just really, really great. I'm blanking on the name of it, but I mean, has something like Santa Claus in the title or something. But yeah, it's really, really great.
Cool. Optinate, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey Doug, can you do your best Walter White impression?
Do I have any glasses? No, I don't. I just know whenever I do, I put the head, I just sort of do this face a little bit. Can I cook? Or can you cook? I don't know. I'm like half awake. I don't know. I don't know if it works without I don't think it works without the glass. I'm seeing on the delay now in Twitch. I'm like, no, that doesn't work. If I had like the hat and glasses, I could do it. I've gone as him for Halloween several times.
Trip Corey, thank you for the $5 super chat. Will you ever do the Case of the Stuttering Pigs for Dark Toons?
Maybe. I think you brought up last time, and I did look it up. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I've seen this one. Maybe at some point. It's because the fatigue and everything is still around, it's tricky just to stay on normal schedule, just with new movies coming out and stuff like that. So I will do my best. I can't promise anything.
JL, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts of Spider-Man Homecoming flopping at the box office?
Oh, well, okay, the re-release, I'm assuming, is what
Yeah.
you're talking about. Honestly, it's not surprising because I think too many people remember it. It came out
I was
not that long
frozen
ago.
today.
So I think it's already fresh in people's minds. Where I feel like the earlier Spider-Man movies, people are like, I mean, how long ago? That's like over 20 years ago, right? Or so I think having that amount of time, it's like, man, let's go back and see it again. Where with Homecoming, it's like, or no, wait, is it Homecoming or No Way Home?
Homecoming.
Homecoming. I apologize.
Homecoming still isn't that old.
No. It's still not that old, but it's also not. I don't think enough time has passed for people to be nostalgic for it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
absolutely.
the Spider-Man in the movies is still growing up. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, only now does he start to look like an adult. So, yeah, I still kind of the same stance.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the $10 super chat. Doug, remember the Purgatory world in Kingdom Hearts 3 where you praised its writing? As an aspiring writer myself, what would you say makes dialogue like that stellar? Please be specific.
As I show why I'm not a good writer, and I won't explain this very well. But no, I think I'm finding out more and more with just about everything, honestly. When you feel this, there has to be something genuine about it, something that feels very honest. Even if you're making up something, there still has to be some bit of honesty, something you really recognize in there. And if you can play with a little bit of a mystery or a vagueness where you have to work a little bit, you don't want to overwork your audience, but when they have to put a few pieces together, and as they're putting those pieces
I was
together, it's
frozen
forming an
today.
emotion. That one bit where, oh man, what was it? Where the mother's talking about her lost child and stuff without going into too much explanation there. That was just like so heartbreaking and so, oh my god, because you have to put together this what she's talking about and the fact that she's here in this place. You have to put just a couple pieces together, so it's not super complicated, but it helps the emotion hit so much harder when you're starting to put the puzzle together, and the picture it shows is just like so harsh, but it also shows a lot of caring too. That's another thing I really like. I'm loving more and more opposites coming together, contrary emotions, contradictions, and stuff like that. And that's both something where it's like, man, that's heartbreaking, but also shows how much, she, remembers her job, remembers her baby, and like she doesn't even know what it is, but she remembers, that sound and that feeling and everything. So yeah, that's my not the best written way of explaining that.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. Don't know why I forgot to mention this, recommending The Devil and Max Devlin. In addition to two Cosbys smoking cigars, his goal is getting the souls of 3 kids.
Maybe I'll do. Didn't they say like that's a Disney movie? Maybe I'll do it for Disney December just for a few jokes. I don't know. At the same time, I don't know if I really want to watch it. Just watching the commercial sometimes was tough enough.
Fire Tower, thank you for the $5 super chat. I'm going to miss your Friday stream because going on trip, so I'll say this. Take the stairs. Heather will know, no spoilers.
All right, keep that in mind.
Patsy, thank you for the $5 super chat. You've probably been asked this before, but have you seen The Amazing Digital Circus yet? Second episode dropped within the past month, and it hits hard.
Oh, that's so fun. Some reason I thought like 3 episodes already dropped. Okay. I saw the first one. It was totally fine. For whatever reason, I don't get that sucked into that person's shows, and they're good. They're totally fine. They're well animated. They're interesting. They're creative and everything. There's just something about it that doesn't hook me like other animated shows do for some reason. So maybe I'll give the second episode a try. I mean, it still looks great. It's very imaginative. Like I said, it's well put together. Just something about it doesn't grab me. But yeah, maybe I'll give the second episode a try and see if it does.
Trip, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's your favorite episode or song of the Animaniacs reboot? Do you think it ended too soon?
I mean, I like to see, how do I put it? I like to see more, but I like to see them also do more, if that makes sense. Like actually do something with more characters and a little bit more variety, because that was the stuff I was liking the most. I was liking when they actually would change things up a little bit in like the type of humor But yeah, I think just keeping it to the Warners and Pinky the Brain it was a mistake. If they want to make new characters, that's fine. But just keeping it to those two segments, I didn't think was that smart. But my favorite segment, trying to think of the what was it? Oh, that's like it's like all these jokes are getting like mushed together in my head. Okay, what I remember, there's just something where Dot like I don't know, takes off her glove or something or a hand and just reveals this monster hand and just the face she makes. It's like something out of like possessed SpongeBob. He was totally relying on the animation and just the creepiness of it. And it just came out of nowhere and was so funny. That really, really got me going. Oh, and then the line, what was it? Where somebody's talking about, the downside of being rich, and Yako says, everybody calls you Dick? Something like that, or your nickname's always Dick, something like that. That was pretty good. And then song-wise, I kind of like, almost just for the joke of it, I kind of like the joke of I like the idea of doing a song dedicated to the First Ladies, but then they're cut on time, so she has to rush through them. I thought that was kind of funny.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. Since you backed yourself in a corner with Don Bluth to the point you played Dragon's Lair, would you review the eventual live-action Ryan Reynolds Netflix film when it comes out and compare it to the game?
Oh, sure. I mean, yeah, it'd be weird not to. Yeah, absolutely.
FBL, thank you for the 500 bits. Honest opinion, no jokes. Do you truly believe that Michael Bay is a racist?
I don't know, because that strikes me as a person that would also just go off of what's popular. You know what I mean? And sort of like he's very big on simplifying things in very complicated ways, like spending millions and millions of dollars to really, really simplify stuff. Transformers is a simple toy, and we're gonna do the story about that, but they're all these complicated gears and they kind of look really ugly and weird. They both look fake and real at the same time. So I don't know. I don't even know if he knows. You know what I mean? I legit don't. It doesn't mean a lot of stuff doesn't come across that way, but in all honesty, I don't know.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, I don't care if anyone calls me a moron, but I never understood, I don't know what's up with chat today, what was so racially offensive about the aliens in Phantom Menace. Tell me why.
Oh, a lot of them are like stereotypes of like other ethnicities. And I mean, like really old ones, and this is kind of funny because you think about people that might not be growing up with some of and some of these I miss too. And like years later had to be explained to me. But yeah, like certain sounds and the way they some of the characters talk and the designs and stuff like that, it's not only like racial stereotypes, but it's like racial stereotypes from like the 40s and like the 30s and stuff like that. So I think that is something where I could see like somebody growing up with that movie and not necessarily seeing that. Like I really could, because you didn't grow. When I watched Tom and Jerry, I didn't get the whole thing with the owner of the house. It was especially because it's possible she wasn't the owner of the house. She was maybe the maid. But to me that was just the person that owned the place. I didn't know anything to like the connection or history connected to that. That's not a very good history. So yeah, I can see if somebody's younger, which it is interesting, I could see somebody missing that growing up if you actually did grow up with that movie and not those stereotypes.
Ymir, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, what's your least favorite movie trope? Mine personally is humanity is the true enemy. I liked it at first, but now it's done to death.
Yeah, and that's another one where they can find like a new twist on that or a new way of doing it without spelling it out. Like you slowly have to discover it, or maybe you have to kind of keep questioning it and you come to that conclusion later. Like that's fun, but you're right, it's usually very, very spelled out. Least favorite, one that's getting to me now, and it's something where I know I've done it too in the past, but just breaking character to spell out the message. That really, really bothers me, which if it's for a joke, like Rick and Morty will do something where they'll just break character to spell out something very obvious. For humor, that's fine. There's wiggle room for that. But when they either do it so much or just so out of character and there's no other way to interpret it or any wiggle room or anything like that or other interpretations, I think that's a shame because I like commentary where there are layers to it If you're not doing that, why don't you just make a tweet about something making your point, kind of thing. Unless you're doing something really creative and like really new with it. But yeah, a lot of times it's just so straightforward. And I kind of miss the commentary where, again, you could read a few things into it. Oh, well, this could be about this group. It could also be about this group or this identity or this going on with other people and stuff. Like I like that stuff more because you can read more into it. And I feel like in that way it connects to more people.
Too bad Waluigi time. Thank you for the £5 super chat. Favorite film of 2023, and what's your favorite film of 2024 so far?
I gotta look at films came out. Okay. 2023 is probably Across the Spider-Verse. And 2024, probably Dune. Let me see. Let me see what's come out. Oh, it's all movies that haven't come out yet. I'll say Dune 2 for now. I'm sure there might be something else, but yeah, that's the one that's in the lead.
Heather Never Weathered, thank you for the £5 super chat. Hi, Doug, fan of 15 years, so please forgive me for this. Hug, marry, kill, Heather Tamra Malcolm. Are you okay? You've suddenly gone very pale.
I love them. Oh,
yeah, no, but seriously, we don't do the hug, marry, kill game with real people.
I thought that was the real answer. I don't know.
FBL, thank you for the 500 bits. I finally saw Knives Out, so I have some questions, thoughts on the movie, and see for it.
Okay, Knives Out. That's the first one.
Yes, correct. First one.
I liked it because it frustrated me. I was watching it, not putting together, or maybe I was putting together, where the mystery is what's the mystery, and that was driving me nuts because I'm like, what is this film doing? How is this a mystery? And then as it keeps going, it's like, now I see what you did. Okay, and because I usually like watching mysteries. I am one of those snobby know-it-alls that tries to figure it out, especially ones that try to have like a twist or something. And that is one where I'm just like, what is this film doing? And then when it got to the end, I was just like, it got me. I love and hate that it got me. And then the sequel was a little bit more straightforward, and that one was a little easier to figure out. And maybe that was the twist in that, is that this time we are doing a straightforward mystery, kind of thing.
JL, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hope you guys have a happy Memorial Day. Thank you.
I gotcha.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, can we get a clue for next week's NC review, please?
Can't think of one right now. If that confuses you, see a previous answer.
Sheldon, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey, Nostalgia Critic, I was wondering if you can review the Tremors movie, Giant Worms Chasing People.
Is that the name of one of the movies? Because
there was no punctuation, so
no, it's one of those things I would totally believe that's just the subtitle.
The subtitle of Tremors.
I might. It's one of those that's been done by everybody, so I kind of avoided it. But it is fun, and I do enjoy it. So I might do it for like Nostalgia Week or something.
FBL, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on the movie Panic Room?
I liked it. I'm a big fan of Forrest Whitaker, and that's just one of those, like, whenever I think of him and like the type of people he plays, like that's the kind of role I think of. Just someone that's like, in a tough predicament, but you just, and it's like half his own doing, half not, and whatever he's going through, you just feel so sorry for him. He just has this like, just this incredibly expressive, innocent face. And I remember him more than Jared Leto in that movie. Even before I knew who Jared Leto was, I was kind of looking at that performance like, this guy's a little off. I don't know. But I like it. I think it's a good movie.
Unheard Sirens, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug and Heather, thoughts on the upcoming full moon episode of Hell of a Boss? Predictions?
No,
I haven't seen season 2 yet, so don't spoil anything. Sorry.
No, I kind of like it when you kind of forget a show is like even still. I mean, I know it's still going, but because they're so spaced out, I'm not like, looking for info about it or anything. So hearing that, knowing, a new one's coming out pretty soon, I'm excited, and I have no predictions for it. That's one of the things I like about the show. I like going in having no idea what I'm about to see. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Jimmy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey guys, hope you're well. Best or favorite DreamWorks villain? Lord Shen from Kung Fu Panda, Fairy Godmother from Shrek 2, or Ramses II from Prince of Egypt?
Oh man, those are. I think I gotta go with Ramses, then the one from Kung Fu Panda, and then Shrek 2. But they're all pretty good.
Maryland Wolves, thank you for the $10 super chat. Yo, Doug and Heather, is it possible if we can get an NC review of any of the Friday films, such as Next Friday and Friday After Next? Friday After Next and Next Friday are some of my fave, so bad it's good films.
I've only seen the first one, and the first one's a lot of fun. I haven't seen the sequels. I mean, maybe I should. The first one's so much fun. I kind of didn't want to see the sequels because they looked really bad, but I should probably give them a shot. In terms of a review, at first I was like, I don't know if I have that much to say about it, but then the more I'm thinking about, yeah, I might. Maybe I would. We'll see. That might not be a bad idea.
At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. If you end up reviewing They Live, here's an idea for the intro. Malcolm dressed as Jordan Peele is about to be crowned king of badass movies with social commentary when suddenly Walter, dressed as John Carpenter, marches in and says, "Not so fast."
No, he's got to say, I'm here to kick ass and watch Nostalgia Ween, and I'm all out of Nostalgia Ween. I'm sorry, I'm off my A game today. But yes, I like where that's going.
FBL, thank you for the 500 bits. Coraline or Paranorman?
That is really rough because I watch them both around Halloween, and the conclusion I come to is that Coraline they both have good character and good stories, but Coraline has the better characters. Paranorman has the better story, so it's really, really rough. Man, I really can't choose. I like them both equally, and some for the same reasons and some for totally opposite reasons. Yeah, I really can't choose.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the $5 super chats. Has it been international for every other NC theme month in March? Or intentional, sorry, I misread that. Dyslexia, what's up? Has it been intentional for every other NC theme month in March to be based around a superhero like Batman, Spider-Man, etc.? And if so, who's next?
Huh. It is now. Now I'll have to keep that in mind when I choose the next theme month. Okay. That's right. I never put that together. That's interesting.
JL, thank you for the $5 super chat. I was frozen today.
Christ!
FBL, thank you for the 500 bits. Favorite scene from Blazing Saddles?
Man, that's another one where there's so many good ones. Like just going through the whole movie. How much of it can I say? It is Blazing Saddles. I like when Mel Brooks is starting to finish his thought talking to the black sheriff, and then he stops in the middle of it and goes, sorry, wrong person. He goes and grabs the other guy, and he says the same thing. He stops at the exact same point, like it was a complete sentence. It was a finished sentence. I thought that was pretty funny.
Loopy Shot, thank you for the $5 super chat. Howdy there. You said your favorite holidays were Christmas/Halloween. What's your least favorite holiday?
Least favorite holiday. Trying to think. And this is a really selfish reason because I always forget what ones they are too. I shouldn't say it because Memorial Day is coming up. They're all valid. They're valid holidays, but I hate a holiday that falls on a Monday because I always work on a Monday, and I know I make my own schedule and everything, but I don't want to, have Saturday off, then work on Sunday so I can take Monday off. And it's totally just a stupid pet peeve thing. All the holidays on Mondays are very good holidays, and we should celebrate them and everything. Just why they have to be Monday.
89 Sigma, thank you for the $5 super chat. Which critically acclaimed film do you believe is extremely overrated? In my opinion, it's Whiplash.
I never did see Whiplash. A lot of people ask me to see it too. I'm trying to think. Yeah, the Avatar films I never cared for. I never got into Moulin Rouge. Trying to think of those are some biggies where people kind of, get really angry at me for that. And then there's some that are panned and they're right, but I love them, like Greatest Showman. Like that is total garbage, but it is amazing guy. And it is some of the hardest working creative garbage I've ever seen. It's like so entertaining and so well put together. It's just not a good movie. And it's a complete lie, but it's crazy entertaining.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Love your work, Doug. How did it feel about Everything Everywhere, or how do you feel about Everything Everywhere All at Once? I hear you mention it, but I never know your opinion on it.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Same reason everybody loves it. The only criticism I have, the first half is a little long. It is one of those movies I had to watch it in parts because it was such a long film. And looking back, it is something where I was like, okay, like the first half you could trim a little bit, but yeah, no, I was very impressed with the idea, the innovation behind it too, like just the adrenaline behind it, the ideas, the emotions, the acting. I mean, everything. It worked. I will say this though, because I know some people it got some backlash after a while. Like it's not that great, and I know what they're talking about because it is so silly and throws so much story. I mean, just random crazy story at you. And I get that. That is kind of part of this new wave, though, where it's sort of not a ton of people do it well, but some do, where you just throw too much story at a person. And that's part of the charm. I feel like the Spider-Verse movies kind of do that too. And when Christopher Nolan does it right, he does it very well. So yeah, I get what people are talking about, but for me, it works.
Maryland Wolves, thank you for the $5 super chat. Here's an idea for your next commercial special. How about doing the Six Flags commercials with the dancing old man? It's still great to this day.
The only reason I'm not, because I have jokes I can do about and stuff like that, is that music is another one of those that's crazy copyright. I think we used it in an NC review or some video before, and we didn't play much of it. And it got copyright claim really quick. So yeah, and that song is everywhere in those commercials.
Oh
it's,
yeah,
all over the place. So it's like, yeah, I don't think we can.
Headshot, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey Doug, did you know the creators and voice actors of The Owl House and Amphibia did a live panel crossover where Luce and Anne briefly met?
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be fun to see like the different side characters meet up too. That's really awesome.
Maya, thank you for the $5 super chat. Where are the Batman Beyond reviews, Doug? We've been waiting for years.
Well, if you're talking about for Batman, that is Walter, and I don't think he's gonna do them. But he did do the Return of Joker, which I thought was I thought he talked about that very well. I had some cool thoughts on that. As sad fact, I haven't seen much of Batman Beyond, and it's on my queue. It's on my queue, and it's such a even watching Walter's review. And this is such a stupid reason not to watch it. I totally acknowledge that. But when I hear Batman, he should be a man. He should be an adult. They should have a long cape, and he should look like a bat and everything. It's just something about this teen and the sleek suit and just these tiny little wings and stuff like that. I hate that. And Gotham City doesn't look gothic to me. It's just so many things that is not Batman in the visual style. But everybody says everything else about it is not only Batman, like the style, but it is like, oh, well, Batman Beyond. It goes even beyond, what a lot of the Batman stories have done. So I should give it a chance. Everyone says it's very well put together. I believe them. I just haven't had the time. That and Static Shock is another show. I started watching.
Great ones, Doug.
Yeah, and I really like it. But it's the long pause in between now. So they're both on my queue. But yeah, I haven't gotten a chance to see enough of it yet.
FBL, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of the Always Sunny episode Charlie's Home Alone, which spoofs Home Alone?
Boy, why am I blanking on that one? Hold on. Charlie's Home. Sometimes seeing images from it help. Let me see. Boy, I am just totally blanking on this. Huh. I gotta watch it again. Yeah, I have just, that's so funny because Always Sunny is also like Bob's Burgers to me, where it's like they kind of blend together in a good way. I like that. I just like hanging with these characters. I don't have always specific episodes I love, but yeah, that one's just a complete blur to me. I gotta find that one and watch it again. I will let you know after I watch it again.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which Disney Afternoon main character do you like more, Baloo or Chip and Dale?
Probably Chip and Dale, because it's two characters. You have that rivalry and stuff. Now, if you were to say, like Baloo and like, I don't know, Rebecca or something like that, like that'd be a little trickier because I like that rivalry that they have. But yeah, Chip and Dale. My brother and I were very much Chip and Dale growing up. He was Chip, I was Dale. That was always, and we knew it. We didn't argue it. So yeah, I always gotta have like a connection with them.
I thought it might fix itself, but you are blurry, Doug.
Am I super blurry? Well, I'll tell you what, Chaplin, you're going to fix it. Okay, you're going to get really close to that camera. You're gonna
Thanks,
unblur it up.
Chaplin.
Look, Chaplin. Look at the camera. Look at
Thank
the
you,
camera. Okay,
Chaplin.
is that better? Is that better at all or
Oh,
no?
yep, it's better.
All right, cool, cool, cool.
Great.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Chaplin.
Chaplin. JL, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you think Tom Holland's Spider-Man trilogy isn't doing so well is because it's too new and doesn't hold nostalgia like the other Spider-Man movies?
Yes. I mean, I'll say this: the other two movies before No Way Home, I thought were fine, but they didn't have the meat of the story yet. As the Spider-Verse movies we're talking about, they didn't have the tragedy yet. What made him Spider-Man? So I think one of the reasons No Way Home did so well is because now they have all these characters come in, but they did finally make him like important about something. Like if you show me those first two Spider-Man movies on their own, and I had no idea who Spider-Man was, I'd be like, these are fine. I wouldn't say this is like one of the greatest heroes of all time. Like, I would look at Amazing Spider-Man or the original Spider-Man, and I would say, okay, like this has weight to it. Like this is an important superhero. I can see why this is so popular. Where with the other ones before No Way Home, I would say, oh, these are fine. These are good. But I also get it too. They had to work backwards because they had to get him in Civil War first, and then they had to work on his backstory kind of backwards. I think for doing that in the predicament they were in, they did a very good job. But yeah, it's really not until No Way Home that you get to, the meat of what the character's about.
Seaber, thank you for the $5 super chat. I just recently watched the grading cartoon intros video and really enjoyed it. Will you ever come out with more of those videos?
I thought about it. The only thing is, they do take a lot of time to do. I thought I was going to do a lot of them because a lot of people have asked for more, but they just took a lot of time. So I don't know. I've thought about it. If I did, I don't think I could do as many fun effects with them. I remember working in a couple effects in there. I don't think I'd do that, but I don't know. It might be an idea in there.
FBL, thank you for the 500 bits. Can you name an actor who started out great, then had a slump, and is now having a comeback?
I don't know. Brendan Fraser started off great, but he was good.
Oh, sorry, I didn't read the parentheses.
Oh.
Not Brendan Fraser. That's too easy.
Okay, that's so funny. All right, well, not Brendan Fraser. I don't know who's another.
What about Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah,
he came back with Iron Man.
Yeah, and he legit was pretty great. He's a really good actor, and it's very rare to find him bad, like a bad performance out of him, except in the one he produced with Doolittle. But yeah, no, that's a pretty good one. I'll go with that one.
Adam, thank you for the $10 super chat. Do you like Tony Shalhoub's Monk? And if yes, will you review the Monk movie that came out December last year? I probably said his last name wrong. I'm sorry.
No, you got it right.
Yes.
That's another one where like I think Rob's on the same wavelength as me with this. It's good. He acts it well. It's very well done. He drives me nuts. I just can't stand watching that character. And the writing is, perfectly fine. But it's not good enough that makes me overlook what I find annoying about the character. Some shows are like that, where I acknowledge they're good, but I can't stand them. Everybody Loves Raymond is another one. Like, that's a very good show. I hate those people, but I know that's kind of the idea. I recognize them in other people too, but like, yeah, they just drive me insane. So it is a good show. I just don't like it.
Jeffrey, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey, Doug and Heather, without giving any spoilers, Doug, can you give a summary of your thoughts on season 1 of X-Men 97? FYI, I'm a big Bishop fan.
Me too. Man, that is the one thing that, I mean, there's one or two things that tick me off a little bit, not many, but I was really excited to see more Bishop in this, and they got rid of him pretty fast. I'm hoping they're hinting at there's going to be more of him in the next season, but no, I loved it, though. I was really impressed, not only how well they got down the original voice of the X-Men comic and the X-Men cartoon, but how they upped it, how they advanced the story. They did mature it more. They did make it more adult, but they didn't lose track of what made that original show fun and what made it very comic booky. Like, it is supposed to be a little corny and soap opera-ish and stuff like that, but it is supposed to carry a lot of weight to it as well. You're supposed to really, really care about these characters, and you do, and the unique visual style and everything. So yeah, I absolutely loved it.
Too Bad Waluigi time. Thank you for the £5 super chat. Whatever happened to your show Pop Quiz Hot Shot?
tried it, everything that went wrong with it. I remember at the beginning just totally went wrong with it, and then we finally got going, finally got a groove going a little bit, and the views just weren't there to keep it going. So yeah, we had to can it. They're still up, you can still watch them and everything, but yeah, we couldn't keep it going, sadly.
Boy Ram, thank you for that 15-month subscription over on Twitch. Welcome back. Since you reviewed a Tom Cruise, want to let you know that he is working with the director of Birdman and Revenant in a future movie. Could Cruise finally win an Oscar?
I mean, it depends on the performance, isn't it? I mean, you can say that about anything. It's like saying they're doing a version of Cats. Do you think it's going to win an Oscar? It's like you got to just wait and see it. I mean, he can be a very good actor. I mean, he is one of those people where I always say that the biggest thing, he just has to, and this is talking as someone who has an ego. He has to step out of the way of his own ego. I think that's the biggest thing. But he's clearly a very hard worker. He is very talented and stuff like that. Yeah, that's the one thing that I feel like is always a little distracting about him. But no, he can turn out some very good stuff.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which Shrek villain do you like more, Charming or Farquaad?
You know, I'll say Farquaad because he only has one movie where Charming had two. You know, in the second film, he's pretty good. In the third one, he's pretty boring, pretty lame, where Farquaad was perfectly fine for what he had to be in the first movie.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 500 bits. If it hadn't been for Almond Joe, I'd have been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Almond Joe?
For those
Perfect.
not in the know of Almond Joe, that's from the stream we had last night. It was just a joke from years ago that really got Walter good, apparently.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. As a Stephen King fan, did you ever get a chance to read his now out of print 1977 novel Rage? It was written under his pseudonym Richard Bachman.
You know, I think I've heard of it. I remember hearing about, I think it was a couple stories he wrote under a pseudonym. And yeah, I never read that one. I actually, you know, I've read like a handful of them. You know, I mean, a lot of the ones that people like know, you know, like Shining and Misery and stuff like that. And I do like them, but yeah, it's I wouldn't say I'm like a Stephen King nut. Definitely not an aficionado, because I know people who are, and yeah, they are very, very dedicated. But no, I like his stuff. It's a shame a lot of it doesn't translate well to film, but I will say what it does. I mean, it's not only great, it's uniquely great. Like I said, Creepshow is still like phenomenal to me. A lot of people see it as like one of his lesser ones.
Frank, thank you for the $10 super chat. Do you plan to see Furiosa this weekend? I remember my dad taking me to see Fury Road when it came out, so I'm seeing it no matter what. R.I.P. Dad. That'll be a nice little honor to him for sure.
Yeah, and yeah, I've already seen it. Actually, I saw an early screening, and it's good. They said I could talk about, and it's very good. It's like a mix between Fury Road and like the original Mad Max, where it's like the style Fury Road, but it's not one long chase. You know, it's actually something that spans over like years and stuff like that. And yeah, I really enjoyed it.
James, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you rather see M. Night direct a film with Tommy Wiseau or Nicolas Cage?
Oh, you know, at first I thought you meant like both directing it at the same time, like directing a movie with Tommy Wiseau, like as the other director. That'd be interesting. I think I have to say Wiseau. Wiseau in anything. Wiseau with any combination is gonna be interesting. Where with Cage and Shyamalan, it's like, well, that could turn out something good. You know, just like a good movie. But Shyamalan and Wiseau, that's gonna turn out something bonkers, and that's the one I want to see.
JL, thank you for the $5 super chat. Toy Story Robot Chicken is really funny because it's really dark humor.
Okay, I'll try to check it out.
Ruben, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen The Zone of Interest by Jonathan Glazer? It's a refreshing film about complicity and dehumanization regarding World War II. A super engaging film.
Why does it?
That sounds so familiar.
Yeah.
So familiar. Did that win a couple of Oscars? Is that why?
Okay, I saw it might have, and I think I remember seeing like a trailer for it and being like, "What is this?" Yeah, but no, I definitely haven't seen this. It does sound very interesting. I'll try to check it out.
Zealous Retton, thank you for the $10 super chat. Will you ever do another Dark Toons on Invader Zim? I recommend the Halloween episode.
Have I not done a Halloween episode? That's surprising. maybe I'll look into it. Yeah, maybe for Halloween. We'll see.
Oi Ram, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey Doug, I was thinking of Rugrat had this commentary, which looking back is rather relevant, where while the babies are a fan of Reptar, the adults are legitimately fans of a Care Bear spoof called Dummy Bears. This is part 1 of 2, so we will
Okay.
hear more about the Dummy Bears. FBL, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on the movie Blockers with John Cena?
I remember liking it. I don't.
Sorry.
I, had to be done. I don't remember a ton about it, but I just remember seeing it once on the big screen, and it was funny. It was a good time. Yeah, that's about all I remember. Just a funny comedy, but I think that's all it's trying to be.
Oi Ram, thank you for the 500 bits. This is the second part. You may think, really? That's relevant? But think about how little kids are into things like Deadpool, Call of Duty, and Five Nights at Freddy's, while adults are getting into Bluey and My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic.
Yeah, well, and then it's cool when they have like the crossover too. They have stuff that they can both the kids and adults can enjoy. So yeah, no, that sounds interesting to check out. I might check that out. Man, I'm sorry I'm talking so strange today.
You're okay, Doug. FBL, thank you for the 500 bits. What's your favorite behind-the-scenes movie story? Mine might be that Arnold Schwarzenegger tricked Stallone into being in Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
On that note, then maybe if that counts, maybe Bill Murray doing the Garfield movie because he thought the Coen brothers were doing it. That's pretty funny. And
that's very funny.
It's one of those where it's like so silly it has to be made up. And they asked him point blank, was that true? And he's like, yeah, it's true. Like he either got rid of his agent or got a different one or something like that. And he didn't do the research and he was just already caught. And he said he tried to save it, but then he just gave up.
Maryland Wolves, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey Doug, just wondering, have you seen Mary and Max? It's one of the most underrated animated films of recent time, and as an Aspie myself, it's the best film of this matter, def better than Rain Man.
Yeah, well, and kind of apples and oranges. Well, I'm pretty sure that Mary and Max, I could be wrong. I thought it was based on a true story. But yeah, I have seen it, and it's always one of those where it's always brought up. I'm like, oh yeah, that's really good. And then I hate it when I have a movie that's really, really good, and then I forget about it, and somebody will bring it up again. I'll be like, oh yeah, like that really great film. Why does nobody talk about that film? And it's one of those where you kind of go, man, there must be like some missing ingredient or something that doesn't make people talk about as much. I mean, maybe it's exactly that, like it's not brought up more, but maybe it should be. Yeah, I remember really liking that. I love the stop motion in it. I love the design of the characters. The acting is really wonderful too. So yeah, no, it's if anyone hasn't seen it, it's a very, very good film.
JL, thank you for the $5 super chat. Choose one, Jurassic Park Lost World or Jurassic Park 3.
I mean, for what? Maybe we'll find out in the next one. I guess I'll say Jurassic Park because it's Jurassic Park, the original.
Thumperoo, thank you for the $5 super chat. Will you consider reviewing Kindergarten Cop?
Yeah, that's actually probably not a bad idea. I mean, the thing is, it's a good movie, honestly. I mean, as much as we make jokes about it and stuff, it is legitimately a pretty good movie. Yeah, that might be interesting. I might do that. That kind of makes sense.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Along with Spectacular Spider-Man, another great superhero cartoon starring Josh Keaton was Green Lantern, the animated series. Like Spider-Man, it sadly was canceled after just 26 episodes. Poor Josh Keaton can't seem to catch a break with superhero shows.
Yeah, wasn't that our Greg Weisman show too? He has bad luck with the shows getting canceled all the time. But I think I've seen like 2 episodes. I was just at a convention and they were, that's the CG one, right? It's a CG animated.
I'm
pretty
not sure.
But I saw if that's the one, I saw this CG animated Green Lantern show. I saw 2 episodes. I mean, knowing nothing about Green Lantern at that time, I still don't know a bunch. And I really enjoyed it quite a bit. And then the same thing happened with the show Young Justice. I saw 2 episodes back to back. It was by the same guy. It was by Greg Weisman. And yeah, I also really like that too. So yeah, I should sit down and probably watch both of those because that guy does pretty good stuff.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. Since today's review was from a canceled old versus new, reviewing the 86 Invaders from Mars remake by Texas Chainsaw director can work for Nostalgia Ween.
I think you brought that up last time because I was like, I knew the original. I mean, not great, but I know what it is. And then I had no idea there was a remake. So I doubt it'll get clicks though. I mean, we have to, especially with the algorithm and stuff, we have to do a balance of something I really want to talk about and then stuff that people want to see. And I can't see that many people interested in that. But I'll try to check it out just on my own to watch it maybe around Halloween.
Tyler, thank you for the $1 super chat. No message, just the chat.
Thank you.
JL, thank you for the $5 super chat. Home Alone is about to get a sequel, says the actor who played Marv.
Um, a sequel. They've had. I mean, what?
There's like what, 6 now?
Five? Yeah,
Five?
there's 6 films altogether. Yeah, 5 sequels. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like to see. Chris Columbus always had the idea. I think Walter followed through with it on a fanscription where it was a sequel where Marv and Harry are retired and then Kevin goes crazy. Or no, they're like reformed and they're retired and stuff, and Kevin goes crazy and tries to break into their house. I like that idea.
Adam, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you like, maybe they just didn't know about the super chats. They asked again about Monk.
Sorry.
Yeah.
See before.
Tiff Guy, thank you for the $5 super chat. I'm working on a question that includes the name of a bad reviewer. I'm just not finding the right question to pair them up with. Anticipation?
I mean, you can always use me. I'm always an easy fill in the blank for that.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. How would you rate these 4 Leica films? Coraline, Paranorman, Box Trolls, and Kubo.
Coraline and Paranorman, I can't. Let's just say Coraline because that was the first of them. So we'll say Coraline, Paranorman, Kubo, and then Box Trolls. But they're all wonderful.
Tiff Guy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you ever heard of a Marvel show on Hulu called Cloak and Dagger? Have you seen it? Are you familiar with the characters?
I've heard of it. I think I've seen it advertised. I haven't watched it. One of those shows is supposed to be good. One of these Hulu mutant shows, and I think that's the one, but I haven't seen it. Yeah. So, and I don't know anything about the original source material.
JL, thank you for the $5 super chat. Pole position. Hey, you guys look like jerks, so what you doing? Shut up, you're in a volcano.
Shut up, space!
Adam, thank you for the $5 super chat. Back credit card.
Ah!
Perfect.
Yeah.
FBL, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on the movie The Bucket List?
I never saw it. It looked bad. That's another trope they're talking about, like sort of tropes you're kind of tired of, I think. And I don't know, they don't annoy me too much anymore because there's not a ton of them, but just the old actors getting together for one more go. Oh, aren't we just old and silly and stuff like that? Because they're just rarely done well. Something like, I think Grumpy Old Men started it probably, and that was fine. But yeah, I don't know. They usually don't do much for me.
Paisano Gamers, thank you for the $5 super chat. Just saw John Krasinski's If today and do not understand why its rotten score is 49. Not a quiet place, but was fun enough. Did you guys see it and what did you think?
No, it didn't look good to me. Again, I could be wrong. Maybe critics are wrong and just wasn't well advertised, but it just didn't get any laughs out of me, like whatsoever. I know it's supposed to be a comedy, and then the creatures didn't look that imaginative to me, so I just sort of wrote it off. But I don't know. Maybe I'll stream it when it comes out and watch it there.
Frank, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you ever watched I'm trying to okay. I'm going to try to read this one more time. Have you ever watched a YouTuber named The Unusual Suspect? His video reviews have humor edits. I recommend checking him out, maybe a collab.
No, I haven't. I will try to check him out.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Who do you think is the better Scrooge McDuck, David Tennant or Alan Young?
I gotta go with Alan Young just because he's the original. He played him the long. When I hear the voice, I'm gonna think of that voice. But I mean, like, Tennant's about as good a replacement as you can get, especially for that type of show. He knocked it out of the park. So it's definitely not something it's like, oh, there's no comparison. It's like, no, but it is. I don't want to say it's apples and oranges, but I'm just going to go with Alan Young because, again, he was doing it for the longest. That's always the voice I think of when if I'm going to read a comic of him, that's the voice I'm going to hear.
FBL, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen Tommy Wiseau's Happy Memorial Day commercial where he says, "It's Memorial Day, don't be scared"? I have not.
Boy, I'm trying to think because I've seen a couple commercials with him. Maybe I gotta look it up again. It's possible I have.
Lamp Crow, thank you for the $5 super chat. I noticed you shorten the NC opening and don't linger on shots after jokes as long as you used to. Is this for the algorithm or just aesthetics?
And more just aesthetic. I mean, they have that thing where you can see where people click to and stuff like that. And the intro is just people, most of them click past the intro. It's like fair. I mean, the atmosphere, I should say, is no, environment, I was right. It's changing. I feel like, and I'm a part of this too. Like, I'll go walking in the morning and I'll put on like a YouTuber to listen to and stuff like that. And I find myself skipping the openings. Now, a lot of people tell me at cons, I listen to you all the time. Like when I'm a truck driver and I listen to your stuff. When I'm doing my homework, I listen to your stuff. When I'm at work, I listen to your stuff. And that's the thing. Listen to. So it's trying to be, and not that I'm gonna, veer away from visual jokes, but that is something I'm a little bit more conscious of now, is that there are going to be people listening for that and literally listening. And yeah, so it was one of those things where when we were doing it, I'm like, is this going to be okay? But nobody seems to really, I think I'm the first one to bring it up actually. So no, I'm glad to see that wasn't like a big uproar or anything like that.
JKL, thank you for the £5 super chat. Fortnite Nostalgia Critic collab when?
I don't know. I don't play it that much.
Thumperoo, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you ever made a review that you were completely dissatisfied with and would revisit / re-review?
There's a lot of videos reviews I would do again, either right after I posted them, I didn't like them, or like years later, I'll look back and not be a fan. But a lot of the earlier ones where we had to keep them to just 10 minutes, I feel like I could go back and do those reviews again, like the Ninja Turtle movies I love to do again, or maybe Super Mario Brothers and stuff like that, because again, they're very, very short. And the Ninja Turtles one especially, because it was just mostly joke oriented. I wasn't doing that much analyzing. Like, I think I'm yelling that like the Shredder is a ripoff of Darth Vader, like, and it's not supposed to be that serious, because it's like he just says, "I am your father." I'm like, like, it's just that kind of joke, but it's not a joke I would make now. I'd make it more like to the source material, because again, the NC was supposed to be kind of a dumbass, to start out. He still is a little bit, but just a different kind of way. So it would be nice to go back and maybe redo some of those.
Paisano Gamers, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts on X-Men 97 wrap up without spoilers?
I liked it. I'm hoping that like the whole next season isn't just what it's, what the cliffhanger was. I like that world they have in 97. I want them to come back to it, like they can venture out and do some, crazy stuff. I want them to and everything, but it is one of those things where I'm like, okay, but I want them to come back to the mansion, come back to that world. I like that world. I like those characters in that world. So I'm hoping that's not like the whole entire season, but yeah, no, I think it makes sense to have it on a cliffhanger too. A lot of times with shows, I'm always kind of like, oh man, we're doing this cliffhanger thing, but with X-Men, it'd be weird if they didn't do that.
Trey Grader, thank you for the 500 bits, and I think maybe they just didn't know that we have a list, because it's the same question about your thoughts on Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, well, there you go. So, see, before answer.
FBL, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on the movie My Soul to Take?
I don't know if I know that one. Hold on. My Soul to Take. Yeah, I don't even think I've even heard of this one. I'll try to check it out.
Tiff Guy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hug, Marry, Kill, Disney Side Character Edition. Charlotte from The Princess and the Frog. Nakoma from Pocahontas, and Anastasia from Cinderella.
I guess, no, I mean, okay. Anastasia's the one that turns around, right, as the movies go on. So, yeah, but she started off bad, so let's kill her. Let's say, I forget her name, but marry the one from Pocahontas, because she's like one of the few good characters in that movie. I actually thought she was done okay. And then Charlotte's into weird stuff, man. So let's
hug her.
Oh, is that it? Oh, it's just hug? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll still keep that.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Where the Wild Things Are, what do you think of Alexander the Goat? I feel bad for him because the wild things always ignore him, and I like the scene where he has a conversation with Max.
Yeah, no, and again, I love that that can be anything. That can be something in his life. That can be like his own feeling of being ignored. It could be someone very close to him. It could be, I mean, that's what's so great about that movie. It isn't like, well, this character's his father, this character's his sister, this character's his friend. It's like, no, there it can be a whole bunch of stuff. And it's so good. Or like you said, it can even just be an idea, just a feeling. Like this character can literally just be a feeling he's having. So yeah, that whole movie is just a masterpiece to me.
JL, thank you for the $5 super chat. In Jurassic Park 3, it was such a short film that it really feels rushed.
Yeah, that's both a pro and a con for like, a Jurassic Park movie. Man, this huge like film that got, just changed effects and was so epic and massive and everything. It's a disappointing sequel, but for a franchise made up of, in my opinion, nothing but disappointing sequels, at least that one's short. It gets in and out and it's done.
Adam, thank you for the $5 super chat. Favorite Spider-Man from Spider-Verse? Mine is Miguel, 2099.
Noir, and I'm so excited to see a Nicolas Cage show coming out based around that character. Man, I am crazy excited to see that.
Adam, thank you for the $5 super chat. Indiana Jones month?
No, we were gonna do that this month, but YouTube's really weird with like, well, okay, I came in because we are on YouTube. The Reichish stuff going on in there, any of the imagery, any of the words, anything like that. We've seen videos get, knocked or taken down or demonetized and stuff like that. So we're just like, all right, we can't really. I mean, there's at least 3 movies that focus a lot on that imagery. So yeah, I don't think there's a way around. I might do the one that just came out though, because I don't think they show a lot of that in that movie. It's only in the beginning, so I think maybe we can do that one.
Adam, thank you for the $5 super chat. Question for both of you. If you could choose one has-been and hell of a boss character to hang out with, who would it be? For me, it's Angel and Millie. I'd hang out with Husk in a heartbeat. He'd make all the best drinks.
Again, Alistair, I think that's just a cool character. I think he's both really funny, but really interesting too. And then, hello, boss. Yeah, maybe Millie. Actually, Millie would be pretty fun the more I think about it.
Adam, thank you for the $5 super chat. Favorite anime?
It is I say it's a toss-up, but I'm like, nah, it's Cowboy Bebop. A close second is Wolf's Rain. And it's interesting because those are by the same people, I'm pretty sure. There's another one that a lot of people don't know about called Kino's Journey, which is also very good. In fact, they actually redid it a couple of years ago. And they're both very well done. And yeah, nobody knows about it, though. You should really check it out.
Railfan, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hi, Doug, and this is for Heather. I don't know if you already said your piece, but what was your thoughts on the final episodes of Ash and Pikachu as the mains in Pokemon? I still haven't brought myself to watch it yet.
Because it's just too painful. You can't say goodbye yet.
It's gonna be sad. And Lucas and I will also, Lucas is my husband for people on YouTube who don't know the Heather lore all the time. Lucas and I will probably watch it together, but it's gonna be a little sad to see Ash's last episode, We'll get to it eventually, but there's just so many things, we'll get there.
There was one time at a convention real fast where we were in the green room and we're talking about like how to pronounce a Pokemon's name. And this woman next to us clarified the name. And I was kind of like, oh, okay. Just like, well, somebody knows. And she's like, I know because I'm Ash.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Sarah.
And I was just like, oh, well, then what would you know?
Bebop Boop, thank you for the 10-pound super chat. Also, just a stellar name. Doug, I've been watching you since the beginning of NC when I was 9. I'm 25 now, and you're still as awesome as ever. I just wanted to say thank you for bringing fun and joy to my life. You're the GOAT.
Oh my God, thank you so much. I'm so glad you haven't grown out of it yet. You haven't come to your senses. That's very reassuring. No, honestly, thank you so much. That's very, very kind to hear. Thank you for watching for so long. That's so cool.
Marilyn Wolves, thank you for the $5 super chat. Since you love dark comedies, have you seen The Menu? It's one of the best dark comedies of recent time. Ralph Fiennes does a great job in the film.
Oh yeah, he's great. The whole movie's great. I was eating cheeseburgers for like a month after that because that cheeseburger looks so good. I'll probably do. I have it on the list for this nostalgia ween to talk about it because I do really like that movie quite a bit.
Sway, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hi, Doug. Since your favorite film is from director Terry Gilliam, what are your thoughts on the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, which was technically Heath Ledger's final film?
I think I like the ideas and the visuals more than the movie itself. It's a little clumsy, but at the same time, they had to work with his passing in there, which is very tricky, and they found a very clever way around it. But just even outside of that, though, like some of it doesn't connect and doesn't click. But I'm glad I saw it because I do look back on like just the visuals and the oddness, and again, some of the ideas of it. With a lot of fondness. So I don't think it works, but I am glad I saw it. I even saw it, I think, another time after I viewed it.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you ever heard of a Gendy Tartakovsky show co-created called Symbionic Titan? It was a great show that had everything: a great story, great animation, great characters, great villains, and a giant robot fighting giant monsters. It was sadly canceled after just one season.
No, I never heard of this. Boy has his style all over it. Yeah, look at that. Huh. No, I've never heard it. I'm not gonna act like I'm a super fan of that guy's stuff, but I do like his stuff. I like to keep, in the know about it. I've never heard of this show. I'll try to check it out.
Adam, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts on Helena from Indiana 5?
Is Helena the goddaughter? Let's say Indy 5, Helena. There she is. Nothing much. She's got a few good lines, and I like that actress. But it's just the characters. There's not a ton.
I was frozen today.
Everything in that movie didn't do that much for me.
JL, thank you for the $5 super chat. So many TV shows have ended, like Young Sheldon and Good Doctor. Why do you think so many of these shows are ending? I mean, most of them are it's about their time. They've been on for like 8 to 10 seasons,
I was going to say, I think the the more interesting question is, how are so many shows still going? Guy Talking has been doing this for 17 years. But no, honestly, and the answer to that is that there's, people still watching and people that still want to do it. But yeah, no, I mean, it could be anything. It could be views are finally dropping off. It could be they just feel like it's time to wrap it up. Yeah, no, it's a good thing to have a long run, and for however they did it, it's a good thing to be proud of.
James, thank you for the $10 tip. Hey, Doug, love your work. I'll understand if the answer is no. I do a film podcast with guest each episode. How do I go about having you as a guest? I'll understand if you're not interested, but love your channel.
I don't usually do interviews, especially now with the brain fog and the fatigue. I mean, I think you've seen a little bit of it here. Like sometimes I can't even I can't even finish sentences sometimes. And this is actually, when it's better. So yeah, I try to kind of stay clear of it. But thank you so much for the offer, though.
JL, thank you for the $5 super chat. Watch all of the Batman movies from Michael Keaton to George Clooney and do a new review.
I've talked about maybe doing like Batman and Robin again, because that's another one where it was one of the earliest reviews I did, and I think it would be fun to talk about that movie like in a more, analytical but still funny way, because there is a lot to talk about. So I might do that. All the other ones, I think I got across everything, all my real thoughts on it.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Even though Dumb and Dumber 2 had some forced callbacks, I liked the spin they did with the second most annoying sound in the world. I should probably know better, but it made me laugh.
I thought it was fine. I don't know. I like Dumb and Dumber, but it's a dumb movie. It's in the title.
Right.
So when people went to the sequel to, I expected more out of my Dumb and Dumber movie. Like, it's called Dumb and Dumber. So yeah, I don't know. I thought it was fine, but this is coming from a place of, a person that thought the first one was fine as well. I never. There are some scenes that make me laugh really hard, but I never quite saw it as like a comedy classic. But I enjoy it. I enjoyed the second one too.
JL, thank you for the $5 super chat. Princess Half Demon, I will tell you, is so good that you're missing out if you haven't seen it. They're very strong women for female leads in an anime.
I believe you. There's just a lot of things that I haven't seen yet, and I don't know when I'm going to get around to, especially animes. Like I said, I would love to see One Piece and both Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. I would love to watch them. It's just finding time. And Inuyasha, I've heard, is very good too, and that I've heard is very good. So yeah, it's just finding the time.
James, thank you for the $5 tip. Appreciate that. Adam Grunther, thank you for the $5 super chat. Which Disney Afternoon kid sidekick did you find more insufferable, Webby or Molly?
Don't make me choose. Both pretty annoying. Man, I don't know. I guess I remember when I was watching the back to back for the Disney Afternoon. I think I found Molly more annoying. So I'll go with that.
Paisano Gamers, thank you for the $5 super chat. Favorite Parks and Rec episode? Mine would be tied with Ron and Tammy and the fight.
I like when they do a finale well, and I thought the finale of that show was pretty well handled. Like, it shows everyone in the future where they're going to be, and they all felt right. And I love it when that happens. I love it when you you fan fiction in your head what's going to happen to these characters, and they show it to you, and it's like, yeah, no, that's kind of what I was thinking. So that was really cool.
JK, thank you for the £5 super chat. Have you ever seen the film Megan is Missing? It's a terrible horror movie that TikTok says is horrifying.
Megan is Missing. Let me see.
Megan is Missing.
No, 2011. I am not aware of it. Some creepy imagery. I'll give it that. Oh yeah. Actually, I kind of want to see it just for the creepy imagery. I might look it up, and it'll either be something that's legit good or so bad it'll be entertaining. So I'll try to check it out.
Thumperoo, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you consider reviewing Max Keeble's Big Move? It was a childhood movie of mine, and I would love to see you rip into it.
Maybe. Some people have recommended that. I've never seen it, but the same thing. I heard a lot of people say that they grew up with it and have a connection to it. So I might.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. Given how often fans scream it at you and request you to act the bit out at conventions, do you ever regret doing the back credit card gag?
No, honestly, my biggest regret is that I can't get the voice high pitch enough and loud enough, because I'm getting older, and this job does make you scream a lot. No, it's is it something where every time it happens, I'm like, oh, the brilliance of my writing? No. But I'm somebody that I'm very comfortable with patterns. I'm okay doing something over and over. I find comfort in it sometimes. If that's like the biggest downside of your job, you're very, very lucky. I definitely get how other people can be annoyed at you being typecast or just saying a catchphrase over and over and stuff like that. But no, when I would do it at conventions, I do the big yell and scream and everything. I would always go through this process where I'd always be like,
I was frozen
okay,
today.
Here we go. Let's do it, kind of thing. But then as soon as you hear the laughter and everybody loving it, it's like, okay, yeah, that was worth it. That was worth it. So it's fun going through that. I've gone through it so much. Now I just replace it with this happy, good feeling. You know what I mean?
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. As which character do you think J.K. Simmons gave a better performance? Claus or Ford from Gravity Falls?
Probably Claus. They're both well done. Actually, they're very similar when you think about it. But Claus is a little tighter. I mean, obviously it's shorter, and I thought the contrast between him and the main character, the different personalities and them working together, worked a little stronger than with him and his brother. But, the stuff with him and his brother in Gravity Falls is still really good.
JL, thank you for the $5 super chat. What do you think of the King of Queens?
I've only seen a little bit. Actually, the bit I saw was on a cruise, and they would play the same episode over and over because they don't want you to stay.
Torture.
Well, so they don't want you to stay in on the cruise, obviously, they want you to go out and do stuff. So they just run like the same 3 shows over and over. And one of them was King of Queens. And the one episode I saw was pretty funny. Like I think Jerry Stiller's on the show, and I forget who it is, his wife or somebody is taking the father for a walk, and they take him to a dog park, and he quickly puts together he's being walked like one of the dogs. And the way they reveal it, like they get the camera angle like zooming in as he turns and puts together like looking at the dogs, and he runs away like crying like a dog. It was pretty funny. It made me laugh pretty hard, but that is like the one episode I've seen. I don't know if it makes sense to judge a whole show just based on that.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Do you think Charming could have worked as the villain in Shrek the Third, or do you think he was just a mistake to bring him back?
I think it was a mistake. Nobody wants to see that villain again. You had, Kumquat. Is that his name in the first one? Yeah. In the first one, you have the fairy godmother and Charming, and then just Charming. Why is that fun? You want a new villain. I have the same thing in the Dark Knight movies. It's like, you got the Scarecrow and Ra's al Ghul. That's how you say his name. And then you got the Joker and Two-Face. And then you have Bane for Ra's al Ghul. And it's like, who wants to see that? Like, we've had this pattern going. And why now do we want to go back to the last film? But it's 2 films ago. Well, okay, that's with Dark Knight. But yeah, if your pattern is always introducing a new villain, have them be their own identity. Don't just repeat what we just saw.
Sometimes it takes me a second to process what you're saying, Doug. It was Farquaad, not Kumquat.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. I was so certain. I'm like, well, was it Kumquat? It was Kumquat. I'm right. Farquaad is what it is.
You said it with such confidence. I was like, I'm sure he's right. You know more about movies than I do. That's so funny.
I said that the fog's been going in and out today, so.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, thank you for all of your years of dedication. Do you, deep down, think it's too late for someone to start a YouTube channel and find success?
Oh, you totally can. The odds are stacked very much against you. I won't lie. And even if you do find that success, keeping it going is also very much stacked against you. I mean, I won't lie about it, but that's why I always say, really with anything in entertainment, you have to do it because you love it. Because if you look back on it and see that it goes nowhere, nobody, 5 people see it, and you'd still be doing it because this is just what you love, and you'd be doing it even if nobody watches it, then you already win. You're doing what you enjoy. If it does become something and you're still doing it because you love it, you'll be all the more thankful for it. Because I feel like, especially now, it's definitely the same when I started out, but definitely now, there's a lot of people that want it because they want the attention, they want the focus, they want the likes, they want the shares and stuff like that.
It's easy, and it's not.
When that was always something at the beginning, people would always tell me that. They start wouldn't it be fun just to talk about movies for a job? And then they try it, and they're like, oh, this is a lot of work. Mm-hmm. I'm like, it is. But if you're doing it for the likes and the shares and stuff like that, you're not going to find it when you get it. It has to really be something where you would be doing it even if nobody watches. Because I have seen people have gone into it for the wrong reasons, and even when they get that success, they're miserable. Mm-hmm. So definitely be sure it's what you want to do.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Rango, what did you think of the scene where after he gets kicked out of town and then walks across the highway?
I like the scene after it more. I like when he meets, I don't even remember what they call him, but Clint Eastwood in the movie. I think they call him the Stranger or something like that. I'm not sure. But I like that lesson of, it's not about you. It's about them. Like you're not stop making it about you, which I think is very much a traditional thing. I think a lot of entertainers, a lot of actors and stuff, do get in their head. Especially that character does. So yeah, that's one of those reviews people are asking, like, if there is one you could do over. I might do that one over because I still don't think I have my thoughts figured out when I was talking about it. And I feel like they're more figured out now. Because the lesson actually is pretty smart. I still have issues with that movie, but I'm like, yeah, this actually is a pretty good lesson. It's just in that, that kind of lame setup of like the liar revealed, and issues with the side characters and stuff. But it is good. It does work.
Haunted Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. I think Marco Polo is overrated as an explorer. When he went to China, he actually stole, oh, it's still going! The Energizer Bunny reference from yesterday.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, oh man, what was the one before? Oh wait, it was what are your thoughts on Timothy Chalamet as Robin in the
Yes.
Batman movie? I personally think still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer, but that was really good because I really started looking to see if that was real.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. I know you weren't crazy about how Rango did it, but what do you think of the trope of the main character who suffers from an identity crisis and tries to discover what they want to be?
There's an idea in there, but the main character still has to be interesting enough to want to watch, and I don't think that character is. I don't think a lot of side characters are. But it needs like one more rewrite to be like a great movie. You know what I mean? As of now, it's like it's good, but it's like yeah, I think it could have been great. It could have been like this, groundbreaking movie. Like kind of a game changer, but instead it's good.
JL, thank you for the $5 super chat. What do you think of Disney streamers who can stream from the Disney parks all the time? Good for them.
I was gonna say that's either again going back to better love what you do because that's either gonna be a blessing or a nightmare.
Right.
I can see people just going insane doing that thing. Oh no, this sounds great, but if they don't really love it, they're gonna go nuts pretty fast.
Nathan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you reviewed Mac and Me? I can find it on YouTube.
No, and that's another one of those where it's been done so many times I decided not to, but I might. Maybe the time is now. I think like I could probably form enough of a unique point of view about it that maybe I will. So I might.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. You might like Green Lantern because one of the main people who worked on it was Bruce Timm of Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, okay. I wonder if that was the designs of them looked very of that style, very animated series. So maybe.
Alex Loves Musicals, thank you for the 500 bits. Speaking of Jurassic Park, it was confirmed that Jonathan Bailey from Bridgerton, Wicked, and Fellow Travelers will be in Jurassic World 4. I haven't liked any Jurassic Park movie beside the first one, but I will see this because I really like that actor.
And it shouldn't be hard. Just let the dinosaurs loose in the real world. Let them in the cities instead. Why do we keep putting them on islands? Even when they're, out everywhere and stuff like that, they're still like, no, we gotta make it about a clone girl or something like that. It's like, no, just make it about the dinosaurs loose. That should be so easy.
John Sutherland, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you ever an editorial or video on Rain Man? One of my favorites, and I know it's your favorite Tom Cruise performance.
Yeah, and actually it's not that he's like awful or anything like that, but it's like everyone praised Dustin Hoffman that movie, and I'm just like, I think that's one of those where I'm like, I think this is pretty easy to do. Not to say he was like half-assing. I'm sure he's treating it very seriously, but it's not a tricky performance. Where I feel like Cruise had a very tricky role to play. I mean, he really is a scumbag, but you have to still like him throughout all this and find him interesting, and just seeing his patience pushed to the limit throughout that whole thing. You just know this isn't going to work with these two. I thought was so well done. What I might do, I've had a thought about, I haven't done it yet, but I've had a thought about maybe doing like a Doug Rambles about actors playing characters with like special needs and stuff like that, because I think that could be interesting. Like, should it be done, should it not be done, in what way should it be done, what works, what doesn't. And maybe I'll bring that up there, because I don't know if I could do like a full review of the movie, but I feel like I could talk about it in about the amount of time I just talked about here.
Chronos Gaming, thank you for the £1 super chat. JL, thank you for the $5 super chat. Jurassic World is apparently getting another reboot.
So it's a reboot? Is that okay? So that'd be why I guess they have the new actor. Yeah, well, and that's where Jurassic World is getting a reboot. Isn't it still Jurassic Park? Is it not? I mean, I guess, was Jurassic World really that much of a reboot? It's still the same world. I don't know. I haven't seen a good one yet since Jurassic Park. So, I mean, there's been good scenes, but we still haven't gotten a good movie. So I'm not crazy excited.
Mecca, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, have you ever thought about bringing back Dream Worksuary at any point?
I love to. It's just finding the time, especially like it's right after Disney December that happened. I mean, you have January, but then it's like going into another one of those, and like as I get older, they do get tougher to do. So eh, maybe after I like kill off the NC or something like that, I'll do another month dedicated to it. But yeah, it's probably not going to be anytime soon.
Rico, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have you ever seen slash heard of the Bionicle movies, and would you consider reviewing them if the fans give enough support?
I feel like I want to say I tried watching it once, and maybe I didn't pick the right one, but I was already like kind of bored by it, so I didn't really give it much of a chance. But there are a lot of fans out there for it, so maybe I should give it another shot because that is one that's gotten requests before, so I might.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. What's your favorite Iroh and Zuko moment?
Um, it's a hint of a spoiler, but may not that much. Near one of the final episodes of the series, the hug. That's all I'll say. That really, that was just so well done. And like I said, I don't really get that teary-eyed much watching the show, but that was one where I was just like, okay, man, tears, like that was a really good moment.
Jeffrey, thank you for the $20 super chat. Sorry to be picky, but in the first two-ish episodes of X-Men 97, why do you think the X-Men act like Professor Xavier is dead, even though we see him being revived in the final moments of X-Men the animated series? It doesn't make sense to me.
I always kind of took it as his spirit is going somewhere else to see if they can do something with it. You know, again, very comic bookish. It's kind of like, it's like Frodo going to the Grey Havens. It's like, is he dead? No, but he's dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like going to the afterlife, kind of thing. So that's always been kind of my interpretation of it. Because it was still very vague, like, well, maybe they can save him, maybe they can't, and they just never heard back, so they just assumed he was gone, kind of thing. So that was kind of my take on it.
Great Pretender, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey Doug, loved your latest review. I was wondering what you thought of another Tom Cruise movie, The Last Samurai. I personally love it, but I get all the criticisms. It really is Dances with Wolves, but in Japan.
I never saw it, and I actually heard it was good, but it's one of those where I'm thinking, like, I think I'm gonna, the people that did have problems with it, I think I'm just gonna have those same problems. Like, I've seen this story. Having Tom Cruise in that role is not gonna make it better for me. And there are some movies where having him will make it better, certainly. But yeah, that's one where I'm just like, I don't know if I'm gonna take this. That's just seeing him in the garb and everything. I'm like, I don't know if I can take this seriously. It's a lot of those tropes that I can usually overlook if the film is done really, really well. And from what I hear, the movie's good. So because I so am not a fan of those tropes, I feel like I'm probably not going to get into it. But maybe I should give it a chance. Maybe I should be fair and actually just watch it.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which Disney princess do you like more, Raya or Moana?
I mean, Raya's kind of cool with like the swordplay and stuff like that. I guess I'll go with her. And neither one like jumps out to me as like, a super great character. But I guess Raya has a little bit more complexity too. She has like the trust issues and stuff like that. I'll go with Raya.
JL, thank you for the $5 super chat. I want Spider-Man 98 to come out next.
Which one's 98? Oh, the Fox Kids one. Yes, okay. I want Spectacular Spider-Man. I want the rest of that. That's what I want. I'm pushing big time for that one, man. That's my fear. People are going to be like, Spider-Man 98. No, Spectacular Spider-Man. That was clearly the better one. I really want more of that.
Tiff Guy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hug, marry, kill super heroines. Wonder Woman, Dagger, Rogue.
Why am I, which one's Dagger?
Of Cloak and Dagger, which you said you were not aware of.
Yeah, I haven't,
So I guess kill her, huh? No.
I mean, let me, just out of curiosity, let me see if like an image of her, like, nah, I don't recognize this character. So yeah, kill her, I guess. And then Wonder Woman and who's the other one?
Rogue.
Oh, Rogue's just it all goes to Rogue except the kill because you can't kill her. But yeah, marry Rogue, man. I love Rogue.
The Experiment, thank you for that 2-month subscription over on Twitch. Welcome back. Vintage Gaming Artist, thank you for the $20 super chat. If they've ever made a Garbage Pail Kids 2, what would you want in it to make it a good movie? Also, hamster jelly with onions.
I know that from. Is that from Ask That Guy? I think maybe. I recognize those words together, and I know it's something I made up, but I can't remember what it is. Let's see. What would they do? I don't know. It might be fun because I did like the cards growing up. Maybe they did something with that where it's almost like the Lego movie where there is just a place where these things like exist, and maybe they exist in the card store and then they actually go over to like other like trading cards or something like that. I don't know, because they interact with baseball players, or like there's old Marvel trading cards. You could get like the X-Men in there. I don't know. It doesn't lend itself that much to cinema, in my opinion. You'd have to have a better writer than me come up with something.
Also, I'm sad that Chaplin finally left the back of your chair. That was a long time he was up there.
Yeah.
He was up there
He's
for
here.
longer
He's
than
still
usual.
here.
Yeah. Andrew, thank you for the $2 super chat. JL, thank you for the $5 super chat. Princess Half Demon character Towa Higurashi, who is adopted by Kagome's brother Sota, is a very good father to his adopted daughter.
I'll keep that in mind if I ever get around to watching it.
Adam, thank you for the $10 super chat. Question, what's your opinion on Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon movies? Keep doing great work.
To who, Zack Snyder or me? Because apparently people have seen Rebel Moon don't think it's great work. I haven't seen them. They don't look like my movies. They just look like Jupiter Ascending sequels to me. Just a lot of exposition with kind of pointless action, like too much world building not done well. That's what it looks like to me. But again, maybe I shouldn't say that because I haven't seen it, but that's what everyone is clarifying to me that it is. So it doesn't sound like my thing.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Do you think you will ever review the Scary Godmother sequel for a future Nostalgiaween? I loved your review of the first one and would love to see you review the sequel.
Maybe. I've thought about it. Sequels don't usually do that well with us unless we name a month after it. But yeah, they usually don't do that well. So
today.
probably not, but you never know.
The Experiment, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you watched Twin Peaks when it first came out? If yes, what did you think of it?
I started it and I was really into it, but just that repeat starts, man, and I know that's part of the charm, playing the music, everyone getting really teary-eyed and thinking of that poor girl and everything. Then something weird happens, and it's just at about like maybe episode 8, I was just getting sick of it, and I finally stopped. And I do hear it's good, and I should probably keep going. But yeah, just at some point, it almost felt like it relied on too many tropes. It's like Amadeus. It's just too many tropes. Just cut a few, and it'll be perfect. But I could be wrong. Maybe if I watch the whole show, I'll see what they were doing and be like, "Oh my god, this is brilliant." But yeah, by episode 8, I think I was finally like, okay, I think I'm done.
Anthony, thank you for the $10 super chat. Did you know there is a popular concept album from England called Jeff Wayne's musical version of The War of the Worlds? There's 2 versions of it, one with Richard Burton, the other with Liam Neeson.
Yes, I've heard of that. I haven't heard or seen it, but it sounded very interesting.
The Strider for Life, thank you for the $10 super chat. I just started watching Rise of TMNT. I didn't think it would hook me this long. It has a certain charm to it that I can't ignore.
So I only saw the first few episodes. I did a little review on that. And then everybody says not only does it get better, but the movie that comes out, they did a little Nickelodeon movie, I think was supposed to be like the series finale. It's supposed to be really, really good. So I haven't seen it past the first few episodes, but everyone I know that has watched it said it really, really gets good.
Thumperoo, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's your favorite old school NC running gag / quote that you no longer use in your reviews? Mine was, "I'll eat you" in Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice.
I forgot about that. I don't know. Maybe it was always because it wasn't intentional. I think I do like the "of course" one because it's just funny what a typical trope that is of someone that always wants to take over the world in bad movies. So I think always working that in, finding new ways to like sort of shoo it away or have it interrupt the review in different ways was kind of a challenge. But it was just funny because again, I wasn't planning on it being a running joke. But I'm like every single time I do it, well, okay, I have to run this because that's what I did that one time in the Street Fighter review.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which Disney movie do you think the twist villain the worst?
Oh, which Disney movie?
Yeah, which Disney movie did the twist villain the worst?
I don't know if this is like the worst. It's just the one that's standing out to me. Probably a toss up between Atlantis and Tarzan because they were just so clearly the villains. And then, I mean, at least with Tarzan, they weren't hiding it that much. But with Atlantis, there's just that thing of like, okay, so this is just going to be the last third. All right, well, that sucks. At least with Tarzan, you know that's where it's going. With this one, it's like, well, okay, I know he's up to something, but you don't know what yet. And then just I don't know. That was just so late. All the characters switching so quickly and just being so one-dimensional was kind of a letdown.
JL, thank you for the $5 super chat. Which Back to the Future is your favorite?
All right, so I'm not saying this is the best. I don't know why. I got a soft spot for 3. Maybe there's something about like just being in that world, which I know isn't really like the Old West, but like there's just I don't know. I'm not a big Western guy, so when I find a Western that I actually kind of enjoy, not only the film, but sort of the atmosphere and the environment of, I really kind of gravitate towards them the same way with Tombstone. So yeah, you know, that romanticized version of it that's like it's a little dirty but not everything's dirty. You know what I mean? Like if it feels livable, maybe that's it. It's a Western that feels livable, and for some reason that draws me more to that film. But it's not the best film. The first, clearly the best one, best written, best directed, best acted, everything. But something about the third one, like I said, I just I don't know, it's bizarrely cozy for a place where anything can kill you.
Hyper Devil Fangirl Boner, thank you for the 500 bits. Just wanted to say I enjoyed the stream very much yesterday. It took my mind off of certain things going on in my life right now. I won't go into much detail, but let's just say things haven't been going well recently. Well, I'm glad we could help take your mind off that.
Yeah, I hope things do get better. Yeah, all our best to you, man.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. You once said you weren't crazy about the scene in Coco where Hector and Miguel go to the music concert. What don't you like about it? I think it's a good scene because it shows them bonding, and I like how Hector teaches Miguel about performing.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's not a bad scene. It just feels like a scene that could be cut. I feel like they're already kind of bonding and working well off each other. I mean, I think that's, I know why the scene is there, but it's not needed because the charm of the characters is already so good and the chemistry with them is already so natural. So it's one of those things where you surprisingly don't need the scene to establish the bond between them because it's already working so well. You already got just good storytellers, good writers, good actors, and stuff like that. So it's one of the few times where you didn't need a scene because the rest of it was already so good.
We wanted to pick up the pace just a little bit
gotcha.
here. C3 Kev, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's your thoughts of Disney owning some parts of anime like Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War Arc, and will you do a review on it?
Probably not. Animes have Japan has different copyright laws, and they usually go after animes pretty harsh. And I don't know, because I've never seen Bleach, and I don't know what Disney would do. If anything, could just leave it alone. Yeah, I don't know.
Hyper Devil Fangirl Boner, thank you for the 500 bits. Lately, I've been doing what I always do whenever I'm feeling down, watch a whole bunch of NC videos. Midway through the Shark Tale review, I heard my mom's voice behind me say, "You see, I told you I'm not the only one who finds the Will Smith fish scary."
That's funny. And that's funny. That makes you put you in a better mood because most people had to be put in a better mood after watching my video. So that's good to know.
ATM, thank you for the $5 super chat. Ever heard of Nanny McPhee? I like that as much as Mary Poppins. Thompson did great. I wonder what Julie Andrews thought of it.
No, but I heard it's good. There's 2 of them, I think. I've never seen them, but I heard they're good.
Frank, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you ever review Malignant for Nostalgiaween?
Have I seen that one? Hold on. Malignant. Okay, yes, I have seen this. It's fun. It's goofy. You just have to know going in it's goofy. I don't know if I would review it because I don't think it would get past the YouTube stuff for like the gore and stuff like that. But it's a pretty fun, silly movie.
Multi Sabata, thank you for the $5 super chat. Favorite James Bond movie and why?
You know, I would have said something like GoldenEye originally, but now I actually really am getting to the Timothy Dalton movies. I didn't think I would, but I kind of like how dark and gritty they are. That's a little bit more close to the dark and gritty I like with James Bond. I did grow to like the who's the last guy they had?
Daniel Craig?
Daniel Craig. I did grow to like him, but yeah, Dalton weirdly is I liked a little bit more.
Matt's Movie Magic, thank you for the $5 super chat. Big fan. Have you ever thought about doing a fan edit of the movie Signs with the voices of the stupid aliens when they're present off screen?
That does sound funny. I don't think I'd have the time to, but yeah, why don't you put it together?
Adam Grunther, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's your favorite version of Biff from Back to the Future? Young Biff, Old Biff, Nice Biff, Trump Biff, Griff, or Mad Dog Tannen?
I like Mad Dog because you could get the dumbest with him to a point where he can't even count. That really makes me laugh.
I really like the way that read off as a cadence, too, where it felt like a Dr. Seuss. Young Biff, Old Biff, Nice Biff, Trump Biff.
2 fish, 3 fish.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Spectacular Spider-Man, what did you think of Norman Osborn?
Norman is the father. Yes. Good. I mean, not the best version I've seen of him, but you know, definitely like imposing and has like a good weight to what he says and does.
Sean, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have you seen Death Trap with Michael Caine and Christopher Reeve and or Shutter Island? Thoughts on the twist and Inception. Also NC for the Hunger Games.
We'll see about Hunger Games. Inception, I like, good movie. Shutter Island, I couldn't get into that much. The twist is you're gonna win you over. It's not. It didn't win me over. And I never saw Death Trap. I hear it's good though, so I should check it out.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hug, Marry, Kill. Has Been Hotel / Hello Boss Villains Edition. Adam, Valentino, Stella.
Man, I'd have to look them up again. I'm terrible at remembering the names, so I have to look them up again. I'll just say kill them all because they're all in hell anyway.
JL, thank you for the $5
That's
super. There you go. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Even though technically she is his niece, I think that's going back to the Yashahime comment.
Gotcha.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hug, Marry, Kill. Husk, Charlie, Angel Dust.
Let's see. I'd hug Angel Dust. He needs a hug. And then Charlie. Oh, Charlie. Who's the other one?
Husk.
Husk. Which one's Husk?
The bartender.
The bartender. Yeah, that's right. Probably. Wait, hung. I don't want to kill any of them. I kill him to put him out of his misery, I guess, and then marry Charlie. I don't know. That's rough.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hug, Marry, Kill. Blitz, Millie, Stolas.
Millie, Mary, because I can't remember who the other two are. Again, terrible with names.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Back to the Future Part 3, what do you think of the scene where Marty and Doc say goodbye?
Oh, I liked it. I like the you can go to spoilers. I really like when the machine is destroyed and Jay Fox is acting when he says, well, it's destroyed like you always wanted. Like, you really felt the weight of that. It really felt like things have come to an end. And the music there, I really like that moment. And then, yeah, and I love Lloyd's big speech at the end, too. It's very triumphant and jubilant. I really like that movie.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Were you guys able to listen to Roger Whittaker last week after I suggested him? Also, do you remember the first time you watched Akira?
Yeah, I was in high school, and I loved it. It's a great anime. It was one of the earliest animes I've seen. That's a pretty good introduction. And yeah, I did listen a little bit to Whittaker there, and yeah, it was good. I didn't hear a ton, but I heard a little bit, and he was good.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What's your favorite joke in Wayne's World?
There's, I forget if it's in the first one or the second one, but there's one where Garth is kissing this woman. And it's a close-up, you see him kissing, and then when you see a far-off shot, he's actually so excited, he's floating, and then he falls. I thought that was really funny.
Ted, thank you for the $10 super chat. Please watch and review Baby, Secret of the Lost Legend. It's a badass 80s dinosaur flick with legit awesome FX. Also, my cat just sneezed on me.
Gesundheit. I actually grew up with that movie, and I forgot about it until you brought that up again. Yeah, I may have to look that up. Actually, was it called Baby of the Lost Legend, something like that?
Baby Secret of the Lost Legend.
Yeah, I gotta look that up again.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. What's your least favorite of the good Disney afternoon shows?
Uh, Least favorite, the good one. I mean, like maybe Goof Troop because I really only liked Pete's family in that. Yeah, I mean, but it's still good because you said the good ones.
Fitness, music, and motivation. Thank you for the $7 super chat. Hey, Doug, been a fan of yours since your Fights with a Nerd and Bebe's Kids review 10 plus years ago. Thanks for being a big part of my childhood.
Oh, thank you for watching for so long. Thank you so much.
JL, thank you for the $5 super chat. Which SpongeBob is your favorite?
I mean, I guess I'm not brushed up enough to know that there's even different SpongeBob. Are we talking about seasons? Or
I
are we
think
talking
they mean
about...
episodes. I don't know.
Okay. That's another one where it's like I do remember some episodes. I just remember one that made us laugh really hard. Is there's one where he has to get some money and he just throws a little rainbow. He goes, "Follow me," and they just jump over to like his wallet or something like that. I just remember all the jokes in that one really funny. I think they have like a fire. They're around a fireplace, and Patrick's like, "Hey, how can there be a fire if we're underwater?" And it goes out. Oh, that was really funny.
Frank, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts on the movie Fight Club?
Oh, I love it. That's one where at some point I want to do a review on that because I think it's I always call it timelessly dated. It's always talk about something that's always going to be a thing, but it kind of goes back and forth about when it is a thing and when it's not, when it is an issue, and that's kind of the forgotten generation. It's a very, very good film.
Adam, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's the funniest scene from Blues Brothers for you?
Going through the mall is pretty great. It's a toss up between that and then my mom's favorite. And she hated the F word and curse words, but she loved the scene where they kept swearing in front of the nun and she kept hitting them. And they just don't get the idea. All they have to do is stop swearing and they can't. So she just keeps going in between them.
Okay, and we caught up with 5 minutes to
Woo!
spare. Yay!
All right.
All right, awesome. Neko Hime on Twitch asks, I saw the Back to the Future trilogy more recently, and when I got to the end of it, I thought it was a nice conclusion. I didn't want the adventure to end, so I guess it's not really a question, sorry, but just a thought.
No, but I agree. You know, maybe that's it. Maybe 3 works the most for me because that ending does feel so final and it's done and you feel like you've been on this big adventure. So yeah, I really like that one.
Ryan on YouTube asks, what's the funniest scene from What's Up, Doc, for you?
Man, I don't even know if I can choose. I mean, it's just so good. So much of the banter is so great. I just always like in the courtroom when the guy's named Hugh, and he goes, and the judge is already confused. He's like, "I am you. You are me. I am you. Sit down." I put that line. I am you. You are me. I am you.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Who do you think is the better main character, Shrek or Puss?
Man, that's rough. I mean, I'd say Shrek if the second Puss in Boots movie didn't came out, but I'll say Puss in Boots. I think the whole thing about like he has to really value his last life and everything. I think that made him really interesting.
That Canadian fangirl over on Twitch asks, I have a question. How do you grow an audience? I started a podcast somewhat recently and I love it, but I would like more people to listen. Besides posting on social media, is it just time or can I do something else?
I'm not saying this is gonna work, especially because we got into this 17 years ago. But I always say be brutally honest with yourself. Look at your thumbnail, look at where it's being advertised, look at your product, and just take yourself out of the equation. Be like, okay, would I click on this? If not, what would I change? You start listening. Would I keep listening to this? If not, what would I change? I mean, just be brutally, brutally honest with yourself. Doesn't mean you have to beat yourself up, but just be very honest and try to fix it around that. But there is no surefire way. I mean, if there was, everyone would do it.
Yeah. Andrew, thank you for the $2 super chat. Have you seen the Denny's chicken ads yet?
No. I'll have to look that up.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In the Muppets, who do you think is the better duo, Kermit and Fozzie or Rizzo and Gonzo?
Kermit and Fozzie, and I like Rizzo and Gonzo a lot, but yeah, just those two are so likable. Come on, just give him a big hug.
Dolfinato, thank you for the $10 super chat. Longtime fan and lurker here. Do you have any favorite westerns? And if I'm allowed to follow up question, have you watched the 1966 Django with Franco Nero?
No, I've actually never seen the original. I probably should because I like Tarantino's one quite a bit.
I was frozen today.
I like, again, I'm not a huge Western guy, but the ones I like the most are probably Tombstone and Unforgiven. I was gonna say more modern ones, but then again, that's 30 years old now.
Gigabuster over on YouTube asks, with your time, will you be able to watch and give a review of Bullitt? Bullitt?
I feel like I've seen it. Didn't they remake that? Let me see. Bullet. There it is. Yeah, the Steve McQueen movie. Did they remake it? Maybe they didn't. I never have seen it. I probably should. I hear it's a classic. So I'll try to check it out.
Math God on Twitch asks, have you seen Challengers yet? Same director of Call Me By Your Name.
No, I heard it's good. I mean, I don't know. It demands to be seen on the big screen though, so I'll probably just stream it.
Ryan on YouTube asks, hey Doug, what's your funniest scene in Great Muppet Caper for you?
Man, I really like that one. I'm trying to think. I love that Fozzie and Kermit are supposed to be twin brothers. And they're always like, you don't look anything alike. It's like, well, Fozzie, put your hat on. And they both wear the hat. He's like, oh, okay, I see it now. And then they show the picture of the father. It's this perfect melding of Fozzie and Kermit. That is so funny.
Frankfurt on YouTube asks, thoughts on the regular show season 8? The whole season takes place in space.
I've never seen the regular show. Somebody gave me a DVD of the first season a long time ago. And I hear it's great, but I've never had a chance to watch it. Everyone says it's wonderful, though.
Sean49 Doctor on Twitch asks, NC for the John Candy movie, who's Harry Crumb?
I don't think I've seen that one. I don't know if I'll do an NC review of it. Again, I don't know who would, if there's an audience for that, but I'll try to check it out.
Zombie the Rogue on YouTube asks, are there any movies you've done a Nostalgia Critic review on that you've since changed your mind about?
Sure there have been. Rango I've opened up to a bit more. I still have issues with it, but I have opened up to, what's good about it. I know there's others. Sometimes I'll go back and rewatch a movie and find I actually liked it more than when I first saw it. I'll go in thinking I'm going to give it a negative review and then be like, uh-oh, I actually like this. So that happens sometimes. I'm sure there are ones, but I'm just blanking on them.
All right, cool. And that actually brings us to 8 o'clock. So that brings us
Alrighty.
to the end of our stream here. Thank you all so much for joining us here. We super appreciate it. We enjoy hanging out here, answering your questions. It's a wonderful time. Over on Twitch at twitch.tv/channelawesome, we do have content 5 days a week. Malcolm will be streaming tomorrow. Doug will be streaming on Friday night. So if you want to see Doug playing Final Fantasy, you got to come over to Twitch for that. He's playing Final Fantasy VII currently and almost to the end. So if you want to see him react to the Final Fantasy VII remake ending, we will be heading up to that soon. Over on Twitch, though, not here on YouTube as well. But yeah, anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. Appreciate you all. Over on Twitch, we are going to go raid Tamara. I'm typing that in right now. Fantastic. All right, awesome. So we're going to go raid Tamara over on Twitch. Everyone else, have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much. And we will see you all next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.